It's now started.
Twice.
Let me know when everybody's in, please.
You're good, Meg. They're all filtering in now.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order. It is 6:01. Please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Patty, roll call, please.
Mrs. Chamberlain,
Here.
Mrs. Saylor,
Here.
Mrs. Corey,
Here.
Mr. Dilks,
Here.
Colonel Hensky,
Here.
Dr. Jones,
Here.
Dr. McCloy,
Here.
Mrs. Shoemaker.
Here.
Thank you.
In compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act, this is to announce that adequate notice of this meeting was given in the following manner. On May 16th, 2021, notice of this meeting was transmitted to the Burlington County Times, filed with the Township Clerk, and posted in the office of the Business Administrator Board Secretary. Additional information was included to inform the public that this meeting will be held remotely utilizing Zoom. Notification was also posted on both the district website and the district app. I direct the Business Administrator Board Secretary to enter this statement into the minutes. At this time, we're going to go into executive session, whereas statute allows for a public body to go into closed session during a public meeting, and whereas the Board of Education of the Tabernacle Township School District has deemed it necessary to go into closed session to discuss certain matters which are exempt from the public, and whereas the regular meeting of the Board of Education will reconvene at the conclusion of the closed session at approximately, you want to get it, anybody? Sean?
Based on the issues tonight, I would say a minimum of 30 minutes, if not longer. What do you think?
Let's do 30 minutes. So 6:30. Now therefore be it resolved that the Board of Education of the Tabernacle Township School District will go into closed session for the following reasons as outlined by statute. Any matter involving the purchase, lease, or acquisition of real property with public funds, the setting of bank rates or investments of public funds where it could adversely affect the public interest if discussion of such matters was disclosed, and any pending or anticipated litigation or contract negotiation in which the public body is or may become a party, that any matters falling within the attorney-client privilege to the extent that confidentiality is required in order for the attorneys to exercise his ethical duties as a lawyer. Be it further resolved that the Board of Education hereby declares that its discussion of the aforementioned subjects may be made public at a time when the board attorney advises the Board of Education that the disclosure of the discussion will not detrimentally affect any right, interest, or duty of the school district or any other entity with respect to said discussion. And be it further resolved that the Board of Education, for the aforementioned reasons, hereby declares that the public is excluded from the portion of the meeting during which the above discussion shall take place, and hereby directs the board secretary to take the appropriate action to effectuate the terms of this resolution. Can I get a motion to go into executive session, please?
So moved.
Second. Vicky. Kevin and Vicky. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? All abstain? Okay, everybody log out, please. Okay, everybody here, call this meeting back to session at 6:30. Wow, we were right on time. At this time, I'm gonna make a statement to everybody in the public. Good evening, everyone. We want to thank you for taking your time to be part of tonight's special Board of Ed meeting. Before we go any further, the board and I wanted to cover what drove the need for this meeting. First, based on legal timelines the board had to move forward tonight approving any possible actions to outsource the paraprofessionals. This allows the administration team the ability to move forward if needed. I am happy to announce that we are confident that we will not have to act, as we have reached a tentative agreement with the teachers union to preserve the paras for the upcoming school year. Although I cannot discuss the details, the agreement would keep our paraprofessionals and not force us to go to a private company despite the additional state aid cuts that we face next year. The board and the TEA have worked together as a team to find a solution. Once the agreement is ratified by the union and voted on by the board, we will withdraw our plan to replace the paraprofessionals. The board appreciates the hard work of the administration team, our board members, and the union representatives to get us to a new era of trust and cooperation and to move our district forward. On another note, we are unfortunately accepting with regret the resignation of Mr. Brian Lepsis from the board tonight. We appreciate all his hard work and dedication to our Tabernacle families, and he will be missed. With his resignation, we will go over tonight how we proceed to replace his position and move forward as a board. The entire district is working tirelessly to support our children, families, and staff. I can safely speak for the entire board to thank our entire Tabernacle team for all their hard work. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to open it up to public session. Public comment. Do we have any hands? Let's see if I can figure this out.
Mrs. Morrow is one of them. Yep.
Mrs. Morrow,
Hello, can you guys hear me?
we can hear you.
On behalf of the TEA, we just want to say publicly that we have appreciated the good faith efforts by the negotiations team, the Board of Ed, and our members as well as we move forward with the process. And we really look forward to working with all of you and using this time as a fresh start and a time to come together and move forward together. So we appreciate it and we're looking forward to a bright future ahead.
Thanks, Brittany. Anybody else? Okay, I don't see any. Let me get rid of this. Okay. Under financial, resolution approving the competitive contracting for paraprofessionals assistant staffing service. Whereas the Tabernacle Board of Education seeks to institute the process of competitive contracting for paraprofessionals assistant staff services under the Public School Contract Law statute. And whereas on May 18th, 2021, at a duly convened meeting, the board has considered initiating competitive contracting for paraprofessional assistant staffing services and authorizes the use of competitive contracting for paraprofessional assistant staffing services. Now therefore be it resolved that 1, competitive contracting for the paraprofessional assistant staffing services is hereby authorized. The school business administrator shall draft and formulate a request for proposals for paraprofessionals and assistant staff servicing. 2, the methodology for awarding the contract for paraprofessional assistant staffing services will be based on an evaluation and ranking, which shall include technical, management, and cost-related criteria, and may include a weighting of criteria, all developed in a way that is intended to meet the specific needs of the board pursuant to statute. The selection criteria will be based on the following: experience with New Jersey public school districts, ability to staff to meet the service needs of the district, references for at least 3 current public school clients, interview if desired by the board, and fee proposal. Pursuant to statute, the school business administrator will publish the notice of availability of the request for proposal documentation in an official newspaper of the board at least 20 days prior to the proposal opening date. After proposals have been evaluated by the school business administrator in accordance with the selection criteria methodology described above in paragraph 3, the school business administrator shall prepare a report evaluating and recommending the award of the contract. The report will list the names of all potential vendors who submitted proposals and will summarize the proposals of each vendor. The report shall, 1, rank the vendors in order of evaluation, recommend the selection of a vendor for a contract, provide reasons why the vendor was selected, and detail the terms, conditions, and scopes of services, fees, and other matters to be incorporated in that contract. The report shall be made available to the public at least 48 hours prior to the awarding of the contract, and when made available to the board, or when made available to the board, whichever is sooner. The board shall have the right to reject all proposals for any of the reasons set forth in statute. Can I get a motion?
So moved. Yeah.
Gail
Second.
and Judy? Patty, roll call, please.
Any discussion, Meg?
Oh, I'm sorry, any questions or comments?
Meg, can I make a comment? Would you
Sure.
explain why we are voting on this proposal?
So, Kevin, or, I mean, I get it. We're voting on it until the MOA is ratified by the TEA
And the board.
And the board.
and the board.
Yeah.
Right, and then as soon as that is done, then we can, once that is done, we can make a motion to reverse this. This is just strictly
A formality.
a formality, exactly. Yep, strictly a
Just,
form.
sorry, just for a record, because I am an NJEA member and a teacher, I am required to abstain from this vote.
Gotcha. Any other questions or comments? Seeing
So,
none?
To be,
Oh,
to be,
sorry.
Meg, just to be crystal clear on this, this is only a vote to approve obtaining competitive bids as necessary, if necessary. And a later vote would be held if those bids were obtained to review those bids and either accept or reject those bids to initiate a change.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Any other questions, comments? Patty?
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Dilks,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Abstain.
Dr. McCloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Abstain. I am also an NJEA member and have worked with many of the paraprofessionals.
Mrs. Saylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes. Okay. Number 9, miscellaneous, except with the resignation of Mr. Lepsis from his position with regret. Definitely with regret. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Vicky,
Second.
Kevin? Any questions or comments? Roll
Yeah,
call?
I do. No, I do. I
Okay.
want us to really highlight the amount of effort that, Brian left us on the board 3 years before I got on here. He was one of the reasons that I ran for the board. And I don't think we can thank him or his family enough for all the hard work that they've contributed to the district. And so I want to just say a personal thank you to Brian for teaching me a lot as a board member. So I just want to say thank you publicly to Brian. That's all I have.
Thanks, Steve. Dan?
Yeah, I'm going to be a yes on this, but only because it's procedural in nature. And it's definitely with significant regret. I certainly understand and support his decision, but truly hate the circumstances behind it. Brian's contribution to this board and the multiple committees that he's served on and chaired will really be missed. And like Steve said, I'm a better board member for having served with him. So thank you, if you're on.
Agreed. Kevin?
Oh, thank you. I didn't know if I saw. I mean, I know Brian and I had our differences on multiple topics, but we've worked quite a few years together on the board, and I have certainly appreciated what he's brought to us and brought for the kids that he's been here for. So I have certainly appreciated that.
Thank you.
I would like to share everybody's sentiments too. Brian will be missed.
Thank you, Gail. Okay, Patty, roll call?
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Dilks,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Dr. McCloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mrs. Saylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
With regret, yes. Okay, so under miscellaneous B, we have authorized the board secretary to give public notice of the board vacancy and invite any qualified person to submit a letter of interest and resume for consideration of his or her candidacy for the vacant seat. Letters of interest and resumes should be sent to Patty at her email address, and the deadline for submission is June 3rd, 2021. Can I get a motion?
So moved, Vicky.
Second.
Keith.
I'm going with Judy. Ladies first. Any questions or comments?
Okay, so can we make sure we're clear on this? So anyone from the public can send in their resume or whatever, their nomination,
Right, yes.
and
And
then
the way-
go ahead, I'm sorry.
The way it's been done in the past is the board then has a meeting where they interview each candidate and make a final decision.
And they would serve the remainder of Brian's term, which is to December of this year.
Right.
Of 2021,
Yes.
yes.
Yep.
I think also, don't they have, if they're considering staying on, don't they have to submit the form by July to get on the
Yes.
November ballot?
Right.
Yes.
And if
Okay,
anyone
Pat-
is interested, our school's website has how to become a school board member. I believe it's under Board of Education,
Yeah.
important links. So if anyone is interested about FAQs to learn more, there's a lot of information located on the district website.
Paperwork is there also, I believe.
Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Patty?
Mrs. Corey,
Yes.
Mr. Dilks,
Yes.
Colonel Hensky,
Yes.
Dr. Jones,
Yes.
Dr. McCloy,
Yes.
Mrs. Shoemaker,
Yes.
Mrs. Saylor,
Yes.
Mrs. Chamberlain.
Yes.
Thank you.
Meg, one miscellaneous before we leave. Just reminding those board members who are on the administrators negotiations that we will be meeting immediately after this meeting.
Okay. You guys got that, right? Okay. We call for an adjournment. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Evan?
Second.
Go Hensky.
Steve? All in favor?
Aye.
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 All opposed? All abstain? Night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, everybody. Thank you.